If anybody would like to ask me a question, I will either try to answer it or come up with a good lie. Which usually involve the circus in some way.
I don't know about everybody else here, but I'd love to have that summary on the platform that you had for the Democrats and the Republicans. Do you have anything written up on that?
We'll put it on the website.
We can put it on the website.
Steve, it does magnificent, truly, and thank you so much. And that was the one thing I was going to ask also, is that if we could get all that you said, I would like to be able to cut and paste some of these things each day on my Facebook page and send out to people that I know, because they were so easy to grasp and understand. It's Republican, what you're voting for. Democrats, why you should not vote for, et cetera, and the platform things, just simple things, because people don't go in and read the platform, but those were simple, wonderful things, so thank you so much.
If anyone would like a copy of the presentation, give me your email address, and if you've got PowerPoint, I can send it to you.
Can you just put the PowerPoint on our website?
Yeah.
Thank everybody.
Steve, I was taken by your quotation from the Mayo Clinic, identifying the 9 criteria listed in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual number 5 of the American Psychiatric Association. As a psychologist and a psychiatrist also are enjoined from making diagnoses from people that we have not interviewed personally. At the same time, I would like to urge everyone to follow up your comment with a look at YouTube, the August 3rd edition of the Lawrence O'Donnell program, in which he put the 9 criteria on the screen, and he was someone. So again, without breaking the confidentiality to which I have sworn and the ethics that I have agreed to uphold, please look up the August 3rd program on YouTube that Lawrence O'Donnell did, and make up your own mind for yourself. I'm not saying any more. I don't think I have to.
Thank you, Steve. You are a treasure to our club and our community. I would like to ask if you could give that talk in a way for a general audience, which probably wouldn't be much different. And please put it on YouTube. It will go viral, and I think it would be tremendous help. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words.
Hi, I thought that was fabulous. I want to ask you a question. How important do you think it is to get our early people to vote for Hillary? This is a swing state. I feel it's very important.
Well, you'll notice in my remarks, I didn't mention any Democrats, and I didn't mention Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders or anyone else, because to me, this is, regardless of what your party affiliation is or what you believe is right, wrong, all the rest of it, we're faced with a situation where a Trump presidency is so scary. Things like Armageddon and the Second Great Depression are possible. It's So I didn't feel the need to beat the drum, the same drum everybody else is beating in this audience about vote for Hillary, because it's implied, can't vote for Trump. We must defeat Trump. And that's how I framed the remarks. But I think it's vitally important. And if you talk about the youth, when this all started, I thought to myself, in fact, I called it right. I said, if Bernie Sanders gets in, Bernie will pull Hillary to the left, and she will end up being a better candidate, and she will end up being a better nominee, and that's exactly what's happened. So if Hillary does the things that's in the platform, the Republicans will once again, for 40 years, be backbenchers, because the American people will see what progressivism really looks like. We'll see.
Good morning, Steve. I am so happy that I was here to hear what you had to say, because it summarized the dire straits that we can be in, but it also gives us an optimistic view of what we can do. And I really appreciate what you've done for us this morning. I would like to just say one word, and I know I'm not supposed to be talking about our project, but Souls to the Polls, we're calling it Souls Flowing. And the reason we're doing it this year as Souls Flowing is because on October 25th, we want to cause a voter participation tsunami at the library. We want to have at least every one of you in here, whether you have voted by mail or whether you will vote that day, to go to that place and send a blast across the map, letting them know that we are here now.
Great speech. I really enjoyed it a lot. What I'd like to know, what I'd like to say is that this campaign has lacked issues as the predominant discussion. It's based on personality. How do we turn that around? Because if the discussion is on issues, the Democrats win.
Boy, I don't know. You can't, the one thing that Trump is masterful is grabbing the microphone. And when Trump gets the microphone, nothing of substance is going to be said. And that's where he's been able to win the nomination by not spending any money or talking about the issues. And it's not so much Trump, it's the Republican base. He has shown us what the Republican base really looks like, and it's not pretty. So those people don't care about issues. I don't know how to, if I knew how to do it, I'd be making an awful lot of money as a political consultant.
I would just like to respectfully disagree with your idea of that pledge. I think taking a pledge to never vote for a Republican is something that smacks more of what I would expect from the Republican Party. Being more closed-minded, I expect the Democratic Party to be a little more open-minded and to at least consider voting for a candidate who is not a Democrat, because especially on local levels, I mean, occasionally, we're not perfect, and occasionally there may be a better candidate overall than the Democratic candidate. And I think it makes us appear closed-minded if we take a pledge saying that we'll never ever vote for Republicans. I don't know how serious you were on that, but I think it sort of paints us with that closed-mindedness that I would rather not have for the Democratic Party.
And I didn't ask you to take it, but I was serious as a heart attack about it. And I'll tell you what, I ran twice as a Republican and won both times. I have voted a straight party ticket for the Republicans more often than I would care to admit, but I have become so dissatisfied with what that party has become that I'm never going to vote for another one. But I appreciate your point.
I'd just like to make a comment about the base of the two parties that you listed on the screen. As a villager, I would say most of the characteristics of the Democratic base seem, with the education and all of that sort of thing, it's very hard for me to understand why the educated population of the villages can ride around with Trump signs on their door. What I would like to do, and I know the Daily Sun doesn't publish very much from our point of view, but if we could buy an ad in the Daily Sun and list those not the characteristics of the base, but that thing that you said about if you vote Republican, this is what you're voting for, cut Social Security. How many villagers want to cut Social Security? But if we could buy an ad and list those things, and some of those people that think they are Trump supporters see what they're voting for, it could make a difference.
There is hope. My neighbor is a staunch Republican. In fact, he was the person screaming Benghazi. And I played golf with him the other day, and he is not going to vote for Trump. Said he can't do it. I think there are an awful lot of villagers that have rethought their traditional voting pattern for this election. I hope. Thank you very much.
One more. First off, thank you for that really great presentation. But the thing that I thought that you brought out, probably just the most profound part of that presentation, was the role of Pence.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm not really a big fan of conspiracies, but I'm beginning to feel that this is the co-conspiracy. Let's get somebody out there, just beating the band, drumming up the bass, and in the final analysis, we get who we really want. And I'm not beyond believing that he could possibly win, and after a couple of weeks, say, I've had enough of this. I resign, and we're stuck with that other thing. And I don't know if we could publicize enough about what could possibly happen, what would probably happen, if we're stupid enough to put this idiot in office.
Well, that's I share your concern, I share your fear. I can't even contemplate what this country would be like with a Pence presidency and putting people in the Supreme Court that shares his views. Thank you very much.